I want to talk to you about how to load funds actually onto a prepaid debit card, and this could be a little complicated if you don't really have the right tactic, the right strategy. Okay, so here are the tactics I want you to pay attention to. If you want to load funds onto a prepaid debit card, I want you first to think about a deposit cash. Okay, you are able to deposit cash. So there are two convenient ways to deposit cash. Out and about and need to deposit cash in your account. What you want to do here is that whether you have your card handy or not, you can add cash at your local retailer in two ways. Local retailer, okay, that's the retailer. So basically, you can add cash using your Green Dot card at over 90,000 retail and financial service center locations nationwide. It can be Green Dot, it can be Amex Serve, it can be another prepaid card. Okay, so that's what number one. Just hand the cashier your cash. They will swipe your card, and your money will load automatically. Now, retail service fees can be from anywhere from $2 all the way to $4.95. So that's the very first option I want you to think about. If you are thinking about depositing cash, you just want to, you want to have your prepaid card, and you want to add the cash at a retailer. You can also add cash at the register using the Green Dot app or the MX Serve app or a similar app. So you can generate a secure barcode, hand your cash and the barcode to the cashier, and the money will deposit automatically. That's really cool. So in terms of seamless, in terms of efficiency, that's really fast as well. So besides depositing cash, you can also do bank transfer. You can transfer money from another bank to your prepaid account. Okay, so a bank transfer is just one convenient way to keep your account ready to use. You can securely move money from another bank to your prepaid account in just a few clicks. Okay, and you can use an app such as Amex Serve or Green Dot or a similar app, and the instructions are pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not really complicated. And the cool thing is that those app developers, they have made the whole process very easy, very user-friendly to actually do a bank transfer through the app. So that's really good. So if you want to load funds onto a prepaid debit card, so the first thing is the depositing cash. Number two, transferring, like have a bank transfer. Also, you can think about a proprietary way. Let me explain what a proprietary way really means. You can actually have the specific tactic or the specific process that the app you are using is really telling you to use. For example, you have MoneyPack by Green Dot, okay? But you also have other players. I mean, Brinks has its own thing. ADP has its own thing. So it really depends on the app you are using. So if I'm using, for instance, a MoneyPack by Green Dot, you can quickly send cash to nearly everyone. Okay, you can actually you can basically use this process for unexpected expenses, repay an IOU, or as a gift anyone will love. So that's really good. And so you are able to easily send money. You can deposit up to $500 cash to any eligible debit or prepaid card in just minutes. You can you have a process that widely accepted, so you can add cash to most Visa, MasterCard, and Discover cards, in addition to more than 200 prepaid debit card brands. This is really fantastic. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that again, in terms of proprietary way, you have to really see the specific app you are using. If you have any question, let us know in the comment section, and we'll certainly walk you through the process for the specific card that you are using, or the specific app that you are using, okay? Because every app is a little different. Every app is a little different. They have their own specs. They have their own configuration, let's say, processes. You can also try check cashing. So if you want to load funds onto a prepaid debit card, I want you to try check cashing. Now, there are two ways to cash or deposit checks using an app, okay? And the cool thing is that you have a lot of apps when it comes to check cashing. I mean, I just finished a video on check cashing and those 15 apps what you can use to actually cash checks. Let's say besides Ingo, okay? I mean, Ingo is pretty well known in the industry, that's for sure. But you have other players. Still, okay, to actually cash checks. So, but speaking about Ingo, you can cash checks using the Ingo Money app. So you can just add the Ingo Money app to your smartphone. Okay, you go online and you go to your Google Play or your Apple Store. Okay, and add the Ingo Money app. Enroll, create your profile, and link your Green Dot card or your Amex Serve card. Okay, and just follow the instructions and you get your money real fast. And that's really good because the whole thing is pretty let's say seamless. Or you can deposit checks using the Green Dot app, the Ingo app, the Amex Serve app, and so on and so forth. If you want to load funds onto a prepaid debit card, you can also try Walmart. Okay, and you can cash checks and make deposits in store with your prepaid card, and you can cash checks up to $1,000. Then deposit the money to your prepaid card for a fee that goes from $2 to $5. So that's a retail service fee. And the cool thing is, once you have done the whole, once you have gone through the whole transaction, you can start shopping and making purchases in minutes. Okay, and so check cashing is not available in certain locations. So just be aware of that, and you want to do your research a little bit before actually starting the process. Okay, and check cashing is limited to a pre-printed and other checks authorized by Walmart policy. Your receipt is proof of your deposit, and active personalized card is required. Okay, and please, you need to bring your pre-printed check, for example, your payroll or government and card to any Walmart register and cash your check, again, up to $1,000 for a maximum fee of $5. And you can also have all kinds of flexibility, like possibility at the Walmart retail store. I mean, Walmart retail location. What I mean is that Walmart has, besides check cashing, Walmart has a variety of banking initiatives going on right now, and they have banking products. Okay, Walmart is not a bank, but they actually are parlaying their big geographic footprint into an opportunity to make money extra. Okay, so that's really good, and so money will typically be available on your card and ready to use within 10 minutes when you cash and deposit a check at Walmart. So this is 10 minutes. That's really the limit here. And so for information on cashing a check using the another app, you want to go through that particular app, or you can ask us once again in the comment section, and we'll certainly get back to you with all the answers that you need when it comes to loading funds onto a prepaid debit card and using the cash right away. So if you think about loading funds onto a prepaid debit card, I want to give you a few generalities here, okay? So when we talk about reloadable debit cards, how do they work? Now, the thing is that these cards can make life easier if you don't have, let's say, a bank account for some reason. If you have a check system, let's say a check system entry or a telecheck entry or early warning services entry, okay? So that's really good. Let's first define what a reloadable debit card really is. So reloadable debit cards allow you to add money to your card's balance periodically, which you can then spend as needed. If you are considering getting a reloadable debit card, here are a few things you need to know, including how they differ from regular bank debit cards. So a reloadable or a prepaid debit card, because it's the same thing. When you hear reloadable and when you hear prepaid, those are interchangeable words, if you will. Okay, so a reloadable or prepaid debit card is not the same as a debit card that's linked to your bank account. Reloadable debit cards allow you to add money to them as needed. Some reloadable debit cards charge a fee for adding more money to your balance. They may have other fees as well. And many reloadable debit cards have consumer protections in case your card is lost or stolen and used to make unauthorized charges. So that's really good from a flexibility and also data privacy point of view. Now, how do reloadable debit cards work? Well, a reloadable debit card actually, they're sold usually. This card is sold at grocery stores, pharmacies, convenience stores, and other retailers. The key difference between this type of debit card and the ones that are used with bank accounts is that it depends on where the money is coming from. When you open a checking account, your bank may provide a debit card that you can use to make purchases or withdraw cash at ATMs. When you use your debit card, the money comes right out of your checking accounts. A reloadable debit card, on the other hand, is not linked to a bank account, right? So, unlike a bank debit card, which normally allows you to spend as much money as you have in the account, a reloadable card limits you to the money you have loaded onto it. So that's something to really think about here. And so, if you receive, let's say a government incentive on the card, you are going to spend as much as the limit on the card, and you are able to use a reloadable card to pay bills, to shop online, to get gas, or buy groceries, to pay for dinner out, or to even cover ride sharing or taxi fees. Now, how do you choose a reloadable debit card? This is an important element to think about. Not all reloadable debit cards have exactly the same terms. Okay, here are some of the differences to consider in choosing one reloadable card. So, I want you to think about the fees. The fees are always going to be very critical. Think about the reload options. Think about the load, purchase, and withdrawal limits. Think about acceptance. Think about deposit insurance. And think about other card features and benefits. So when I speak about fees, well, it is possible to find free reloadable debit cards. Others charge various fees for using them. Okay, for example, you might pay an activation fee, a reload fee, and or a monthly service fee just to have the card. And if you are using your card to get money from an ATM, there may be a separate fee for that also. Okay, so just be aware of those fee possibilities. What about reload options? So cards also vary in how you can reload them. Again, your options may include adding money by phone, online, direct deposit, or in person. If you are adding money in person, you may be able to do so using cash. But if you are adding money online, then you will need a bank account to transfer the money from, unless you have the option to use a mobile check deposit service. You also have load, purchase, and withdrawal limits. This is also could be very important. Reloadable debit cards can impose different limits on how much money you can add to your balance at one time, daily, or weekly. There may also be limits on how much you can spend or withdraw in a single transaction or even per day. What about acceptance? When considering a reloadable debit card, what you want to do is you want to check out where the card is accepted. You want to choose a card that can be used at the places you spend money most frequently. And many reloadable cards are issued in conjunction with the major credit cards and debit card networks such as Amex, American Express, MasterCard, and Visa. So they are widely accepted. Also, think about the deposit insurance, okay? So, like money in a bank or credit union account, some reloadable debit cards carry either FDIC or NCUA insurance. So, the money you put on your card will be held in a pooled account at a financial institution, along with the money of many other cardholders. If that financial institution fails, the deposit insurance can step in so you don't lose any money, and reloadable debit cards issuers are required to inform you about whether your money is insured before you buy the card. So that's really important. Now, some prepaid debit cards provide additional benefits. For example, the Bluebird card from American Express comes with features such as emergency assistance and fraud protection, but that's not really the case for every card, so you want to really do your research before getting the card. So, what are the benefits of using a reloadable debit card? Let's talk about it, because if you're thinking about loading funds onto a prepaid debit card, you got to be aware of the benefits of using a prepaid debit card. Now, there are several reasons why you might choose to use a reloadable debit card. I mean, first, you have convenience, right? For example, prepaid debit cards make it easier for a person or for a family who currently is unbanked or underbanked to conduct everyday transactions without carrying around a lot of cash. And I mean, we know, especially if you are in a neighborhood where security is an issue, you do not want to walk around with cash in your pocket that much. A prepaid card could also be a good option for you if you need help with overspending or learning how to keep track of your spending. For example, if you are a parent, then a teen debit card could be a helpful teaching, teaching tool to get your kids used to tracking their expenses. And now there are also no negative credit card, let's say credit side effect, okay, with a prepaid debit card because you are not taking on any debt. The flip side of that, however, is that unlike a credit card, you can't use a reloadable debit card or debit cards generally to build a positive credit history, okay? So this is one of those things where you have to think twice before actually going that route. Now, not only will a reloadable credit card not hurt your credit score, but it's also possible to qualify for one even with bad credit. So if you have struggled with debt and your credit score has not been hurt, has been hurt as a result, you may want to consider actually working with, let's say, a debt relief company or credit counseling agency to actually fix things on that front before actually going back to using credit cards. Okay. Now, one thing I want to say here is that if you have a business, you don't have right now. There is no way to have a reloadable business debit card. Okay, they don't have those. Those things don't. They're not actually available now for businesses. You do have them for individuals, but not for businesses. So forget about that if you are a business owner and you're looking for a reloadable business debit card. Let me close to this conversation by talking about safety. Okay, it's one of those things where if you are unbanked, if you are underbanked, and you're thinking about the reloadable debit card, the question is, are those prepaid debit cards safe to use? Now, regular debit cards linked to checking accounts come with certain protections in case your card is lost or stolen. And previously, prepaid debit cards did not enjoy those same protections, but the new federal rules introduced in 2019 have changed that somewhat. Especially, they introduced the feds introduced the law around right around COVID, before COVID started. Okay, so according to the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, according to their guidelines, reloadable debit cards are now treated more like checking accounts debit cards. The key changes included more transparent fee disclosures, expanded access to account information, including issuer provided transaction summaries, the right to dispute fraudulent charges on registered loadable debit card accounts, and you also have fraud protection for unauthorized charges. This last one is particularly important if you are concerned about losing your card balance if the card is stolen or used to make fraudulent purchases. So if your card is lost or stolen, the CFPB advises that you contact your card issuer right away to let the institution know. Waiting too long to report unauthorized charges could actually cause you to miss out on the fraud protections that come with your card and cost you money. Okay, so it's one of those things where you have to really be very careful. Now, a prepaid debit card is not the same as a gift card. Although you may be gifted a prepaid debit card by friends or family, it's not the same as a gift card. Gift cards are typically issued by a merchant directly. They're also subject to certain separate rules for expiration timelines. And some gift cards are issued by banks or credit card issuers, but they typically don't have the same fees that prepaid debit cards do. So it's a slight difference, okay? And you cannot actually overdraw a prepaid debit card because this is the money you have, and once you have spent it, that's it. Okay, unlike a debit card attached to a bank, you can't spend any more money than what's loaded onto a prepaid debit card. Since some cards deduct fees for activation, maintenance, and loading money, you may have even less than you anticipate in your balance. So be very careful there, okay, in terms of how you use the card in the first place. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to load funds onto a prepaid debit card. I give you the tactics, the generalities, and now the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.